מגילה.
Okay. Baruch Hashem, הזמן הזה. New shares, to the scholar. Shkoyach everyone for having me. I wish I had a place like this to hang out when I was your age. I was in Brooklyn. I had a whole different situation over there, but you have such a makom. The Gemara starts, Mishnah starts off, Megillah Nikas B'Yid Aleph, B'Yid Beis, B'Yid Gimel, B'Yid Aleph, B'Tezvav. It's 5 days you claim Megillah. We only know of Yid Aleph, right? Unless you live in Yerushalayim, Walled City, you live in Tezvav. That's only one day. When times in the past, when we're going to see later, when the small cities used to go into the big cities, for Mondays and Thursdays, for the Yom Knisa, for Bezdin, for the market day, then they were masakin that they could come in a few days early. They don't have to schlep in twice. But it's interesting. The Mishnah starts off Megillah and Nikas. Like you're supposed to know what's going on over here. We didn't know what Megillah we're talking about. What's the Megillah? Who's the Megillah? The way the Mishnah was set up is that we have to hear it from a Rebbe. We have to know. We can't just open a book and know what's going on. The Messiah of the Mishnah connects us all the way back, Mamish, from Rebbe to Talmud, all the way to Nasi Mamish. There was no break in the chain. If there was a break, you wouldn't know what it's talking about. What's a Megillah? We don't know what we're talking about. That's how the Mishnah was set up, and it's dafka. And it's a tremendous thing that we have the Messiah. It's mamash. We're living with Rabbi Yehuda Nasi when we're learning the Mishnah. It's mamash with the Tanam, like the mamash here. So look the Mishnah. Megillah, Nikras, Yid Aleph, the days of the month. Days of the month of Adar, Yid Aleph of Adar, Yid Beit, Yid Gimel, Yid Aleph, but Tezvav. There's 5 days. Like Pachas V'Liyas, you can't learn earlier than Yid Aleph, and you can't learn later than Tezvav. Cities that have that are walled from the times of Shur ben Nun, they lane in Tezvav of other. Regular small cities and big cities that are not walled, they lane on Yudal. So what's all the other days? Like we said, that the small cities they go into the Yom Knisa for the market. They're misakin they can lane early. Like we have Ezra say for lane. There's misakin laning on Mondays and Thursdays for the same idea that they should be able to come into the big cities and lane daf. At least that was one of the reasons why it's Mondays and Thursdays that they should go to a Kriyas Torah in the big cities. Ketzad. So how does this work exactly? When which days do they go in when? Choli Yudalid B'Sheni. If Yudalid falls out on Monday, everyone lanes. The unwalled cities lane by Bayam. Why? Because they're coming in anyway on Yudalid. So let them lane on Yudalid like everybody else. And the walled cities lane Tezvav, that's their day. If Yudal falls out on Tuesday or Wednesday, they go back to Monday, which is either going to be Yud Gimel or Yud Beis. Right? So it's either 1 day early or 2 days early. But and the unwalled cities, the large cities, they lane always on their day, on Yudalid. On either Tuesday, Wednesday, and the walled cities they lane on Tezvav the next day. If Yudal falls on the Chamishi, again we have the same thing like it's Monday. They lane because they're coming in anyway. And the walled cities lane on Friday because that's Tezvav. Choli is Erev Shabbos. That's if Yudal falls out on Erev Shabbos. Now you have everyone gets moved around. The small cities go back to Thursday, which is Yud Gimel. And now you can't land on Shabbos. When the see later, the Gemara is going to discuss why. Either because you won't be able to write checks up or because you can't carry, and we're nervous you're going to carry the Megillah. But everyone holds you don't lane Tezvav, you don't lane on Shabbos. So Tezvavniks are going to lane on Yudalad, and the Yudalad lane by Bayim, and the Kfarim, like they always do, go back to Yom Knisa. Chali is for Shabbos. If Yudal falls out on Shabbos, which we cannot have today, the way our calendar is set up, it'll never happen that Yudal falls out on Shabbos. Per Mishul, which is when Yudal falls out on Erev Shabbos and Tezvav falls out on Shabbos. We never have this case in the Mishnah. Does not apply to us anymore today. But in the times when they were Mekadosh Beria, that the Edom would come and say, we saw the moon, we didn't see the moon, and the whole back and forth. So the Shchesh get mixed up a little bit. It can go on a different schedule. And Yudal sometimes falls out on Shabbos. So if that happens, then the small cities and the Ayaris Gedolas, again, no one lands on Shabbos, so the small cities and the large cities that are not walled, so they get pushed back to Thursday. We're going to see why not Friday, but they get pushed back to Thursday. And the Baybayim of Tezvav is going to fall out on Sunday, so that's fine. The walled city is going to land on Tezvav. If it falls out if Yudal falls out on Sunday, now this is the case of Yud Aleph, because it goes back all the way to Thursday. Right, so you have Yud Gimel is Shabbos, Yud Beis is Friday, and Yud Aleph is Thursday. Ayars Gedel is Karim by B'Yam, and the Ayars again they stay in their spot. They rain on Sunday. So that's the walled cities go on Monday, which is Tezvav. So that's the mission. Just walk through all the scenarios of how everyone each day of the week falls out. If Yudah falls out on every day of the week, and where everyone's going to lay. So the Gemara, Megillah Nikos B'Yad Aleph, and how do you know that it could be laid in other? How do you know that it could be laid in B'Yad Aleph? How do you know? The Gemara's kasha is the Gemara understands the kasha that what do we know from the pasuk? In other words, why is it a chiyuv to lean on Yirah? It's not a mitzvah it's not a mitzvah. It's not learned out from the Megillah dafka. Come on, like we said later, like we're going to say later in the Gemara, the Chacham will make on the Kfarim not to schlep in again another time that week. To go back to the market day, in order that they should be able to provide food and water for the Chaver in the bigger cities. The Chacham were make on they moved the Yom Kippur, but not known that it's a chiyuv, that it's a mitzvah. They're allowing to. So Anan Hakikam, this is the question we're going to ask. Mechdi, Kulu Anshe Knesset Tekninu. All these days must have been from the Anshe Knesset. Why? These are the Anshe Knesset Tikun. If you're going to say that Anshe Knesset only set up 2 days, Yudalad for the big cities, for all the cities, and Tezvav for the walled cities. If you're going to say that's what happened. Also, could a later Chazal, could a later Chevra of Rabbanim come and make our own Gezerah? That it's happen from what the Anshe Knesset did? It can't be, but it's not. In Bezin Yochel Avato Divrei Bezin Chavei, a Bezin cannot come to be Mavato another Bezin's words. Ella Imkain Gadol Mimenu B'Chachma Binyan has to be side bigger, and the Reish Bezdin has to be the Av Bezdin has to be bigger in B'Chachma than the other Av Bezdin, but you're not going to have Anshe Knesset Gedayla. That's right. So it must be Shita Kulu Anshe Knesset Gedayla. These all must have been set up original part of the original Gezerah. So the question is, where do I find in the Megillah? Because the Megillah says Beferish it was set up on Yidam and Tezvav. So where do I see more days? Where do you come from more days from Anshe Knesset Gedayla? Amar Rav says we're going to see two different ways of learning. Amar Rav Shimon bar Abba, Amar Rav Yechanan, Amar Kra. It says in the pasuk in the Megillah, "L'kayim esimei apurim ha'ela bizmaneim." So it's mashma zmanim harbe tekninu lehem. It's mashma that even though I told you before Shidan Tesvav, but it's mashma there's other zmanim. This is not an extra word that I could use to darshan extra with days. I needed to tell me that it's set up bizmanim. No, it's in the days that we set up. Everything that doesn't imkain lema kras zman. You could just say the word zman. You don't need zmaneim. My zmaneim zmanim tuva. It's mashma. There's more zmanim. I still need this word zmaneim is not extra to tell me that there's additional days. I need to tell me that the chaver that's supposed to learn Yudal have to learn Yudal. The chaver that's supposed to learn Tezvav. It's not two options, whatever's convenient for you, depending on when your mother was making the perm suda. You have to do it on your zman. You can learn out all these drushes. You can learn outside the word zman will tell me just the zmanim that we set up. Zmanim will tell me that it's everyone's miyuchad for themselves. It's dafka, and so zmanehem. The fact that it says zmanehem is extra, and I can learn that there's additional days. In fact, maybe there's a lot more zmanim. Why do you stop at 2? Go start from the Rosh Chodesh. Like why dafka yirah? Why did you pick dafka an extra 3 days? Everything more zmanehem dumi zmanim. It's additional, like the original takana. Just like the original takana was 2 days, the additional that we're going to be married is also 2 days. But the more my zmanam trey, asmanam trey, trace of a place. So maybe 12 and 13. How do I know? Where do I get to 11 from? You said 2 days, so that's 12 and 13. It's not. We took 11 also. Yud Gimel Zman Kihil Akali. Zman Yud Gimel was a Zman where everyone was in the Muhammad. So that doesn't need to be, you don't need a rebate for that. It's automatically in the part of the mitzvah. Once I know that there's any sort of riboy, no, without any riboy, it will be dafki, that's it. But once there's any sort of riboy, I have already got Gimel's already inside, he's already in the door. So now I have an extra riboy for two more. It's another two besides the Gimel that we said Meilik here. Hachanam Yud Gimel's man kiyel akali. The late tzarich riboy, it doesn't have to be added. The Ema Shitza v'Shivsa. So who says you go before to 11, 12, and 13? Maybe say 16 and 17. In other words, 13, 16, and 17, right? Because 13 is automatic, so the extra two would be 16 and 17. Look at it says V'layava. The pasuk in Megillah says V'layava, and knows it shouldn't pass the time for Megillah, and so after that's why no one lanes. V'layava, fine. There's another way of learning, and we'll finish over there. Shmuel ben Achmeni Amar Krok Hayamim Ashenochu Behem Hayehudim. So Yamim Kayamim. The rabbis did Avi Beis. Very similar drasha. I'm going to see why they don't want to learn like each other. Yamim Kiyamim. The rabbis did Avi Beis. Be'ema trace of a place. The same back and forth. Maybe 12 and 13. Who says 11? Amar Shema Yisrael. This is where the original member is that we're copying from here. Amar Shema Yisrael. Yud Gimel Zman Kila Kali. V'leit Tzarich L'Rubuye. 13 is automatically included. Be'ema Shitza V'Shivsa. Maybe 16 and 17. Same thing. V'layavik Siv. It says V'layavik, so it can't be past 15. Rabbi Shimon Achmeni my time lo yama bizmanei. Hakod Rabbi Shimon Achmeni doesn't want to learn from the bizmaneim. Zmanam lo mashma. He doesn't like this splitting up the word in three different ways and saying that we can learn so many drashas from one extra word. He doesn't like that. Rabbi Shimon Ab my time lo yama kiyamim. Why doesn't he want to learn from kiyamim? Amalach hahumi baile ahum sorry coming to say the days of the Megillah that year. He's coming to say kiyam the L'Doires that they're accepted and they're going to keep putting.
That'd be 7 o'clock.